The mics aren't on. Sorry. The mics are not on. No.
Hello. Anyone hear us?
That's better.
We were just. We can talk about snow.
Anyway, I've got simple questions which are going to be shared with everyone. So we're going to do it a little different. It's sort of like if you could share with us the elevator version of who you were, who were your most important mentors and or angels who helped you get from then to now.
Well, that's easy for me, but I already mentioned Carol Spear in my ADG acceptance. But she was a woman, she's a Canadian designer who works a lot with David Cronenberg. And I had the opportunity to work with her for a few years, for a number of years. And really, she was my mentor and she was my good friend. And I owe a lot to her.
And in particular, was she just friends as well as your?
Yeah, we're still friends, and I still stay in touch with her. She's still working. David Cronenberg's still working, and they kind of grew up in the Canadian film scene together. And it's actually through Carol that I got to know Guillermo del Toro, working on Mimic when I was art directing with her.
Right. Jake?
For me, I think the ADG last week, winner Tom Sanders. And for me, the guy was a maverick and he taught me everything about the business. He built everything in models. I know that most directors hated it, but what he was able to do just made the world of difference.
I want to go back to snow. So I think some folks might be surprised to know that you built that ship and where you built it. Could you expand on that a little bit along with the snow? So yeah, the ship was built, and it was built on a full gimbal with them. When the creature pushes the ship, for those of you who've seen the movie, it actually rotates the entire ship. Which we had to do like animatics and models. I think we did 3 models of the ship to pin Guillermo down onto, the degree, the angle that it would shift, and then had to work with our special effects department for that. And then we decided there was not a studio big enough in the world, anywhere to do the ship with the environment. So we decided to build it outside, and then it just came to be that the easiest place, the most handy place logistically, was to build it in our parking lot of the studio. So it was it had its inconveniences. And then Shane, the rigging, I've had to do rigging before. It's not easy.
No, no. We had a lovely gentleman named Jim Dines who's from the UK, and he does most period movies, and he was able to come over with a small team and work with us to do all the rigging for that ship. And what was great about Jim was he actually trained all the extras. He was on set that day to make sure that there was authenticity to the movement. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's like once the ADs found out we had a real sailor, they got him. Exactly.
Project achievements, both conceptual and practical. What do you feel were the things that were your most challenging?
I mean, both the lab room itself, but also the conception of the whole lab tower. And as particularly with all the beats in terms of the action that Guillermo wanted, with the, going up to the top of the tower, which was one set, and then the other top, that's the pinnacle, and there was the top of the tower with the big mechanical arm. Every set had a mechanical aspect to it. So that was very difficult, as well as the ship, again, with the mechanics of it. But I would say the lab itself kind of trumped everything.
And I also have a follow-up to that, because it's not just you were hired to do a job, but you were taking on one of the most sacred, original Hollywood monster films of all time. Good and bad, but still, a signature film. And it was Guillermo's baby, child, love relationship. No pressure there, right?
Yeah, I think, no, we just, when we work with Guillermo, we just start working with Guillermo, and we worked, well, Shane and I have worked with him so many times before, and Brant Gordon, our wonderful art director, who's here. So you just go into this mode, you know what he wants as a director, and it's just kind of automatic. And I find myself trying not to think too much about the lore and the history, because it just sort of takes your breath away, to be honest.
There's a shorthand to him. Once you understand it, all you can do is take it and embellish on it. So it just makes our job a lot easier. It really shows on camera.
And I mean, there's so much to say because you've worked together so much, but I have to ask you a question. Did you have nightmares about books?
Dramatic. Guillermo could have picked any library in the UK and gone in and shot it. He had to go to a location with nothing in it. That's what he wanted to do. So, you know, we had a lovely assistant, Paulina, in the UK. Probably spent 8 months qualifying books and books and books and more books and talking about the brain and, you know, the book market. We shot that on, is it called the Green Mile?
Royal Mile in Edinburgh.
Mile in Edinburgh during high season. They got 125,000 people there every day. You know, you're trying to build this market and you've got everyone staring at you. And then the man decides that he wants to move it 5 times. 5 times.
You don't be alone.
Effects guys were supposed to have a lightning, but they didn't bring those valves. So they turned into buckets of rain. And it honestly just destroyed everything. It was a disaster. Anyway.
Oh no.
Well, leads me to my next question. What would you say was your most challenging call sheet? Look at that.
I think, I mean, by the time we got to Scotland, which was at the very end, we were all pretty exhausted, and thank God for our UK team who had, you know, not been on for 2 years, or whatever. I think they kind of saved us. I'd say some of those call sheets were, I was just kind of done. And then, and literally, we had days where I was chasing behind Shane while he himself, with a couple other team members, of carrying furniture through the tourists up the Royal Mile. I'd say those days with the market, and we did, like, you know, we had a butcher market and buckets of blood and Guillermo throwing more blood.
You know, we have 28 locations in Scotland, and every day we're almost a different location. And in 3 hours away from every location. You know, I've said it before, it's logistics, but every day is kind of a new day. And I have to say that Guillermo likes studio. And most of our shows are shot in studio with a few locations. The UK was all locations. And that can become a really big challenge with someone that's not used to shooting locations.
And you run 2 continents.
Yeah, I've got to say that the crew that we had in the UK, absolute world class. You know, Paulina, who is, I think, by far the best senior assistant art director in the world, just really put it together.
You know, what you guys are reminding of is something that's shared by all of our teams this year. This is an in-camera movie. I mean, set extension, sure. Sure. Those go back to the origins of perfection. Elias was doing them first. So what's so lovely is to see a film really happening, even on the grand scale. And you guys did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Well, I mean, we had an incredible team of sculptors. I think we had like 20 sculptors, the painters, the carpenters, the welders, the greensmen, the set dressers, just our fabric artists and set tech. Everybody worked, everything was so handmade and so skillfully made. And I just feel like we are super blessed to work with that group of people.
That's who we work with that make it special.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Yes.